morning, everybody. It is a beautiful February morning down here in Florida, in the flatlands of Northwest Florida. Actually, it's not true. Northwest Florida is where the highlands are at, since it's some 300-foot elevations. But anyway, so I'm to the point now where I've got my pack set up, making some runs. See, I hit the utmost 65 from Osprey. I don't like hanging things off the outside of the pack, but my camp sandals there are just not going to fit inside. Wanted to go something light, but Crocs will not fit my feet. My feet are too narrow. They just fall off even with thick wool socks, so I've got to go with more of a shower shoe. I know it's an open toe, not ideal for walking around camp. I'll have to be extra careful, and of course I'll have to get something else by the time I get to Maine, as those will not work for water fjording. But then again, by the time I get ready to ford, those sandals will probably be worn out anyway. So anyway, right now, as it's weighed, all the equipment, 5 days worth of food, too much fuel, probably. I've got 20 ounces of alcohol, so that's probably at least, so that's 10 days worth of boiling 2 cups of water for dehydrated meals, so that's probably too much. Winter clothing tends to, it's cubing things out pretty well for me, because I'm a hammocker. So between my top quilt, which is a sleeping bag, and my bottom quilt, which is another sleeping bag, I've got 2 sleeping bags and a 65-liter pack. So as you can imagine, that's taking up a lot of space, even as compressed down as I have it. I have it in a 15-liter compression sack, and it's probably compressed down to about 10 liters for both bags. So I mean, that's pretty hard compression. You definitely wouldn't want to leave it that way for any more from just night to night. I accidentally left it compressed that bad for about 3 days, and they did loft back up, thank goodness. But, so what are my fears that I'm packing? Because right now I'm at 30. I weighed myself 39.4. I still have a Z-rest put in, not one of the inflatable pads for the Smokies. Still needs to go in there, since I understand you're not allowed to hammock in the Smokies. So anyway, so 39 pounds with all the 5 days worth of food, fuel, and 2 liters of water. So is it where I want it to be? No, I was hoping to stay under 30. But right now, it looks like I'll be happy to stay under 40, at least until I get done and can send some winter gear home. Can switch to perhaps just a pad with my hammock instead of the under quilt. That'll actually take out a lot of space in my pack and free up some room. Anyway, have a great day. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you later. So what are some of my fears? Hypothermia. I got hypothermic during survival training at Fairchild Air Force Base back in 1984, either right before, I think it was right after Thanksgiving. Got pretty wet in a snowstorm. Tried to get dried off. Still was wet from some snow. Went to bed. That was a pretty scary experience. So cold I couldn't blow my whistle to get help. Fought to not fall asleep for fear that I'd freeze to death. So that's probably one of my fears. So I probably have a few more articles of clothing that are probably going to be necessary in the end. That's probably one of my fears. So yeah. I was backpacking once along 3 ridges in Virginia, where we ran out of water about halfway through the day. So that's probably one of my fears. So I may end up, of course, carrying a little bit too much water than I should. So I'll be able to hopefully work on and tweak that after a while. So that's probably some of my main stuff. Plus my nature, having been trained in survival, is to always have dual purposes for everything. So like for example, my stand for my alcohol stove is also a little fire stove. So I've got some redundancy there. Usually redundancy in the knife blade. My hammock setup, the type of a tarp that I have, the Superfly, I could go to the ground and turn it into a traditional ground tarp and go to the ground if the hammock's not working, so I've got a dual purpose there. Taking a sleeping pad for the Smokies, but it also gives me an opportunity to go to ground, because probably one of my biggest fears with hammock camping is actually hammocking during the middle of a strong wind and lightning storm. I think that would be pretty scary. So anyway, those are some of my fears.